Welcome to the 100 Master Coaches series featuring master coaches from around the world. Let's journey together on this 100 Master Coaches series with your host, Coach Mel, MCC. Jasna is a highly qualified and passionate coach, holding certifications as an ICF Master Certified Coach, EMCC Master Practitioner Coach and Mentor, Team Coach, and accredited coaching supervisor. With extensive experience, she specializes in communication, leadership, team development, change, culture transformation, and coaching skills across various industries and contexts. Her systemic and integral perspective, combined with a pragmatic and people-centered approach, helps clients achieve superior results in less time, reduce stress, and find greater satisfaction in work and life. Now on to the show.
Hello, and welcome to the 100 Master Coaches show. Today on the show, I've got a special guest all the way from Slovenia. She's none other than Jasna Knez. So welcome to the show, Jasna.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you for being so lovely to be here.
It's my pleasure to host you. You know, we connected probably a month ago and we talked, and it was such a beautiful chat, I remember. And this thing about yellow and the connectivity with yellow between us, it's so amazing. So I thank you for being in your beautiful color, yellow, today.
Thank you. I was inspired by you. Of course.
So today's all about you. It's about your story. It's about how you stepped into coaching. So let's take a little while to get into that zone before coaching, so that the people listening to this episode will understand, the story of your life before coaching and how you stepped into coaching.
Oh, it's, always, I think, so important to reflect back, because sometimes we even forgot for the journey. And the journey is so important.
Absolutely.
I remember, I was always so fascinated about human behavior and the reasons behind it. And to be completely honest, my journey really began with self-exploration and with deep spiritual work, which also allowed me to understand life in a different way. And in that period of my time, I also encountered with the coaching, and I was working as a trainer and event manager. So I was dealing, of course, professionally with training people how to be better in communication, in public speaking, doing incentives and team buildings, to bring them together as a whole. And the coaching concept was at least in Slovenia, something that doesn't exist, that we have talked a little bit about, but when you said coaching, people tend to ask you, what is this? And I was never, a person who likes to be in front of the camera, even though that I was all of my profession, I am dealing with it. But, and I always felt, that I don't have it, that I'm not good enough. So maybe this is also important to say.
Yeah.
But when my colleague invited me, she said, I'm going to one training about coaching. It will be outside of Slovenia. I don't want to go alone. So this was the reason. I don't want to go alone. And I said, okay, let me check it, and I checked the program. It sounded quite interesting. I said, okay, let me see what is this? And I will never forget my first day on that training, because coaching was everything what I wasn't. It was about asking questions. And in that period of my time, I didn't ask questions. I knew the answers. Coaching was all about listening. And I remember I didn't listen, because I knew, coaching was all about giving space to a person in front of you. And this was strange for me. Well, strange. I wouldn't say strange, but new. So it was really a fascinating journey, and in that time also I was struggling in life. We had my husband was ill, and I had how do you say young child,
Yes.
1 year, and it was like, okay, can I do it? And you have a lot of inner struggles as a human being, with life and etc. And it really supported me in a way to see things differently through another lenses, not only from the self-discovery work, because I was involved in a lot of mindfulness activities and I was really exploring why I am feeling as I am feeling, but it was even more about the personal growth in terms of who I want to become also professionally. So yeah, it was really a beginning of incredible coaching journey, and it started then. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm so grateful today for what the system, or however we call this universe, or I really believe that something that is bigger than us brought you and shape you in the person who you are today, if you allow yourself, to open to that experience and to experience it, and to also learn from the experience in terms how you will shape. So this is what I'm really grateful for. Yeah. I always say now, this is my motto now, not in the beginning, that the biggest gift that you can give to yourself is really to know yourself.
So true.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. And when I'm listening, I'm thinking, wow, definitely it's not a coincidence. You were in a point of your life, as you said, you were also seeking and searching. And then this friend of yours, sometimes the environment brings different people in our lives. And at that point, this particular friend invited you in to this space. And it's like that space was ready for you, to step in. And how beautiful it was, because you were open to all of the counterintuitive ways what coaching was and what you were at that point of time. It's magical somewhat, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you reflect, you really, when I reflect, I'm so grateful for that, to allow myself also to be able to embark, to see, and not to stay in one statement or a story that I was living back then. So it's if we open to the possibilities, the teachers will come in different shapes and different forms and different energies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making space. Making space for something to come in, someone to come in, some possibilities to come in, as you're saying. So,
Exactly.
Jasna, as you made space and coaching came into your life, what happened next?
Well, behind every inspiring story, there is always a basket of struggles and doubts.
Okay.
As well wins, of course, but as Carl Gustav Jung said, there is no change without suffering. So I did suffer, and I did struggle with my head of being a coach. I was doubting in my abilities, questioning,
Wow.
do I have the knowledge? Do I have the capacity? I had quite loud self-critic in me. And Now in my coaching school, I always share this story, but in that time, in the beginning, I was really seeking supervision, I would say almost every week or every 2 weeks. So spending most of my earnings on the supervision and on the reflection, because no matter how much I tried, it just never felt like enough, you know.
Wow.
So it was like, and I really thought, you know, that I don't have it. So this was, let's say, one inner struggle that I was facing with. But also, you know, during that time, I also felt the passion for the coaching, and it supported me in terms of shifting so many things. And I was really curious about how may I shift myself in this, in this sense, you know, what do I need to be or to become or to evoke in myself in order to feel it's good enough, who I am and how I am and how I can support others in their transformative journey. And I really dedicated my let's say my learning journey to that, you know. And of course, every client's transformation was a small win, small victory. And it was, of course, also boosting my self-confidence. And through regular supervision and through regular reflection that I am really involved from the beginning of my coaching journey, I also quite soon or quickly realized, you know, what are my patterns, what I am repeating, how I am evolving as a coach, how I am evolving as a human being as well. Where I am good at, you know, what are my strengths to lean on, and also how I can reshape, let's say, my inner world as well, in terms of to add something that is still not there yet. And that's why I also involved myself in different trainings, because I really wanted to work. I always felt, you know, that we need to work with human being and not with just a model. So I wanted to work holistically, because also the deep self-exploration work was a crucial part of my life, you know. And I really wanted to connect all this in a way who I am. So in this my early stage, I would say I was struggling a lot, you know, because I'm quite creative person. I have some different views on life. And in that sense, I understood that coaching is much more, you know, asking questions, following some prescribed models, let's say. But on the other side, you know, I felt, no, this shouldn't be all. You know, how I can be whole and address it holistically, I would say, you know, integrally, from what is inside of us, what is outside of us, what the system is bringing, because this was also my passion and my deep exploration of other fields in my life. So, and maybe what was so important in that early stage as well was that I really surrounded myself with right people, I would say, right mentors, right supporters. And also my husband always supported me, because he really believed in me. He always say, you have it, you have it, work on that, you know. So when you have supporting family, I would say, supporting family in terms of mentors, supervisors, also peer coaches around yourself who are your believers, they give you drive, you know, to evolve even more and even deeper. So it's I think this was so important in my early stage, and this is also the reason why I am today as I am and who I am.
I was just about to say that. Look at your profile and everything that you're saying and the work that you've done on yourself and the support that you surrounded yourself with, Jasna, is a reflection of how you are offering of yourself to the world right now. And it's so beautiful. I really feel like this is part of your calling. It's so much bigger than just a skill set, something we've learned and we just want to apply it in the doing of things. But what you're saying is it's both the being and the becoming of yourself. And that exploration is just beautiful. Well, how you shared it just now, things that you've done for yourself. And then I know for the fact that it also wasn't easy in a country that is probably new to coaching at a point of time. It's probably still new to coaching as you're going about right now after so many years, right? So the work on yourself is one, and then there's the work on the outside where you would probably have faced a lot of confusion out there. They're like, what do you do? What can you do for us? Right? So how did you, I guess, manage that as you faced all of that challenges along the way, if you may share?
Yeah, it was really challenging. I think it's still challenging, in this time, but it's becoming much more known, or much more bigger awareness there is. But in the beginning, people weren't familiar with coaching, and it sounded like some voodoo or something, So it was in the beginning really a struggle, What do you do? What is coach? Who is coach? Nobody was coach back then. We were few, I would say. And because this was this is how I felt I need to do it. So I always had, what you do, how you impact on other people's life, on your clients, let's say. There are some results, and based on that results, people come to you and they trust you. So this was my main marketing strategy in terms of comers back to me, or I appointed somebody to come to me. But at the same time, also we run a training school, so we deal with human development as well. And I didn't even talk a lot about coaching. I just implemented the coaching in the way how I do things, how I support people, how I teach or train people. And in that sense, this was the biggest difference. What do you do that we get results? How do you do it that you open the whole group? Or what do you have that you open this safe space and trust that people are able to speak up? And, and this was how I, let's say, implemented. I would say I live coaching. It's part of every single cell in my body. But in the beginning, I was just putting it, because I truly believed in this support. I truly believed. And I said, who do I want to be also as a trainer? So what is the mark that I want to leave, and why do I do what I do? Because if I don't see the transformation or the change, is it then worthy to do it? Is it ethical to do it? I have really high moral standards in that sense. So I need to also see the results, and coaching gives results when the people are ready. And we don't need to coach everybody, but we may use coaching conversation in order to make things more deeper, I would say, and more profound, or more opening for the others. And of course, because I also believed in very creative methods, I was quite famous about that, I would say. You do everything so lightly and fun, but I just tried to, combine different approaches in a way that suits me and my personality and who I am as a human being and as a person. And later on, of course, because I run a coaching school here in Slovenia, So in the beginning, this was really, what are you selling? But I believed in it. So, and you need to have faith. You need to believe. You need to have faith. And I always said, we will have enough students. We will build on that. And gradually, we really had. And then we had a lot of students, and there is another coaching school here in Slovenia. So we have a group of people who call themselves coach. And we really tried, to then, how can we combine all this? So with some colleagues, we decided to embark on the journey of, bringing the ICF family into Slovenia. So to set really professional standards. And this was another struggle in to build this awareness in coaches in terms of their professional growth and also credentials. As well, what really coaching is, how the professional coaching is different from the, let's say, human beings who with good intentions, really good intentions, call themselves coaches, and they do something that is not coaching, but by that, maybe they do some damage to the profession as well.
That's true. I hear a couple of things there, Jasna. And one of it is that you begin to embody coaching into your everyday life. It's not just like you put on coaching and appear as a coach when you need to appear as a coach. It's like coaching is in your blood. And everything that you did had the element of coaching in it, whether it may be training, whether it may be opening space and allowing people to come out. It is all part and parcel of your DNA. I thought that was something to be able to point out and also celebrate with you.
I remember I was presenting I support also Global Team Coaching Institute in David Clattenburg program, and in one model I was presenting my coaching journey. I wasn't the only one, there were few, and I said, because when I was reflecting, so what should I say? How did I evolve? Professionally, but I didn't have any business plan. Never ever, what I have is belief and hope. I really trust that the system brings you what you need in that particular moment. And whatever that is, and sometimes whatever that is hard to accept. But then again, I always ask myself, what do I need to learn out of the situation to be with the situation, And I really want to support people around me to give them, this perspective in terms of we are not competitors. We are breathing the same air,
That's
it's
true.
like we are doing better for the people, for the world,
Totally with you that.
Yeah.
Very true. And your move to work with coaches and bring ICF to Slovenia is something to again celebrate. So thank you for doing that for your people.
Yeah.
It's just amazing that you had the vision and the desire to see something greater happen, right? This community of professional coaches. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I wasn't alone in that story, I remember when I met with Taya and we were discussing, and I said, look, we need to do something. And she also wanted to do something. So, it's always behind every project, there is a group of people. And you were, the amazing, I was just having a great conversation 2 days ago with one lady, and I said, the amazing thing with ICF diversity and inclusion, and we were four very, very different persons, very different in a way how we perceive coaching, how we do coaching, how we think about coaching. But we connected in a deeper level in terms of that we were also able, minding that we didn't know each other from before, that we were able to create this community. Because when you go into this kind of project, this is not something that is a project that you will get paid for. So you need to have another drive, another passion, or different intention.
That's right.
And not many people are willing to do that, So I wasn't alone in that journey, And also I had the support of all of my students because they needed, I'm so grateful for that because they trusted me, because it was, the fee for ICF is quite high for our conditions here. So they really blindly trusted me. Yeah, I am willing to pay this kind of money because we needed together enough members.
Yeah.
And, each of them has such an important role in this contribution to our ICF chapter of Slovenia. And also now when we are almost 80, each single member has an important role in terms of building this community and the family for us. Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. And you talk about the collective is greater than the individual.
Right? Exactly.
It is so true. And that's the reason why I joined ICF way back in 2007. And I have never left ICF because I always felt it was like my family, right? Yes, of course, in every family there is differences, and I always say this, there'll be people that we like in our family, and then there'll be people that we have to manage ourselves with. It's not
this
that
is
problem.
Learning. This is life. Not a problem. It's learning. What can I learn from that experience? Why I'm experiencing this, and what do I need to acknowledge or bring to the awareness? I really did in that particular part. I really did a lot of work because I was all the Jasna was I like you or I don't like you. And now when people ask me, but you like everybody, it's not that I like everybody, it's not, this is not true. It's just that I'm interested in everybody.
That's good.
I want to understand why he or she acts in a way that he or she acts, because I truly believe we are all good in our souls, and what we do is just a reflection of who we are at that particular moment. And maybe this is the teacher for me, and maybe I also need to bring to the awareness something, because if something was evoking me, what does this mean about me and not the other person? And then who am I to judge the other person if I am not even with me, And I'm really doing a lot of work in this self-awareness, because I think for being a coach and dealing with people, this is crucial, This is really crucial. And we need to be ourselves the biggest client or the most important client and the project as well, in order to then be a good coach for other people.
Absolutely. It starts with the person in the mirror that we see every single day. Oh, I love that. I love that. Right?
If you have the mirror.
That's right.
But
chuck away the mirror sometimes. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. It's
no, I say, it's also, this is okay if you don't want to see
it. Sometimes it is okay, but I think there are lessons that we all learn through our life, our journey, our relationships. Yeah, I think they only make us better, not bitter, you know, better.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I so love this.
Yes, now I notice you are involved in ICF. You're also involved with EMCC. You know, I love it when I see a coach like that. I'll just say it openly on this episode. I've not, allowed myself to go to the EMCC side, even though there's so much great work and great people there that I am friends with as well, right? But I'd love to hear your part of the story, how this has become a part of your journey.
I said I had supporters.
Yes.
I always say I have believers in my life. Believers are the ones when I struggle the most or doubt in myself the most. There is one lady from Croatia, Irina Antolic. I don't know, she always supported me in such a profound way. She's also my supervisor, and she always said, "You have it, Jasna. You have greatness in you." I could cry now when I remember so many moments that were so important for me and my growth. And she did such a big work in terms of building the community in Croatia. She involved me there because firstly, I was a member of EMCC Croatia before even the ICF.
Wow.
And it didn't exist, nothing here in our region. So it was only the Croatia, and she did such a big, impactful work voluntarily and really having this passion and desire to supporting the community, to building the professional community. Wow. And because I was learning from her, studying with her, I was in that energy, and I learned how important it is for me as a coach to give back, because she opened for me so many possibilities and options and involved me in different areas and projects. And I'm so grateful to have her in my life, and I learned from her so much. And and the gift that I received was this awareness, this bigger awareness about the collective impact that we create together. So being a coach may seem sometimes as a lonely profession. And if you don't have a family, trustworthy family where you can share struggles,
it's true,
and also your wins, you cannot evolve or develop. So when she invites me in any initiative, I always say yes, because I trust it will bring good, not only for me, but for all the rest around me. And when we accredited training within the ICF, and the ICF then became also a little bit more familiar here in Slovenia, I really didn't have the chance or other options not to be involved. I train people to become coaches. So I feel that my other responsibility was also to support them on their next journey, And I needed to decide whether to do something in the size of our school, or to do something in the size of the collective, the whole country. So how can we overcome this? I am a coach, weekend coach, we say it, when somebody goes in some coaching training because for 2 days, and he or she calls himself a coach. So it is also the ethical, decision in terms of, who am I if I'm not good ambassador of professional coaching and standing for the standards and the ethics that is so important for our role?
Yeah.
So this is how all this became, connected. And then it becomes part of you. I don't know how to answer other way, it just become part of you, and you are willing to give because you are aware that you also received a lot. So this is my story, and that's why also I accredited our training within both schools, because I don't see that one is better than another.
Yeah.
It's just different. It gives you different perspective, and well, the ethics is the same, of course, but in terms of what you can get as a coach.
Yeah.
And then being a professional coach and training, I would say, training people, you know. So if I am a teacher, I need to show the highest standard so that they can trust me to embark on a journey with me. So this is how I see it, and then I did it like that. Yeah. You know, and now the church bells are ringing, you know, like, I don't know if you hear them. I hear them, and it's like, wow, you know, and the system said exactly.
It is resonating with you. Yeah. And
Exactly.
the work that you've done. Thank you for listening in to that inner voice that encouraged you to flow in the river of the collective.
Wow, I so love this metaphor. I will use it if you allow me.
Of course.
To flow in the river.
Because, you know, we could be
Yeah.
on our own boat, like you rightfully said, right? You and I could be on our own boat, and we've got places to go. Come on, let's be serious. We've got business to run. We've got impact to be made with organizations out there. Why do we need the collective? And there is a reason. Because me, you alone is just one drop in the flow. We all need each other to complete that flow.
Exactly.
It's just metaphoric to see that all that flows. It's like rain, isn't it? When you hear rain coming, and there is a rush, isn't it? But it's you know, the uniformity coming together, and it flows in the same direction. It doesn't go separately. At the end of the day, water will flow where it flows, and it will flow. You know, and I think when the collective comes together, like you rightfully said, it will flow and make an impact where it needs to be, in the places where are dry, in a sense, parched, dry. And so I follow with this question, right? I'm sure that there are people out there, organizations out there that are still in that early stage, right? They're like, yeah, I've heard about coaching, you know, I've brought in some coaches before as well. Some was okay, some was, right. I'm still sitting on the fence with that. What would you say, Jasna, as the collective voice, right? How would you approach these amazing people that will one day join and be a part of the flow as well?
You know, right now it's raining outside.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
So what does this mean? But I think, you know, it's a very complex question, because there is no one answer to it.
Of course.
It's we as professional bodies, professional coaches, we do have our responsibility in that, you know, to share the awareness, to share the good practices and cases. And I also feel that, you know, if there are no standards, then maybe they did have a coach or somebody, but the intervention wasn't in the sense of coaching. So how do we then promote what does really coaching means and how can it serve? We need to have a lot of research on that as well. I think EMCC also did a great deal of work here, you know, because it's really focused in the research base that support clients as well organizations and the individuals who are interested in more. So But at the same time, you know, sometimes when people didn't believe me, I just said, trust me. If you won't like it, you don't need to pay me.
Wow.
You know, sometimes we need to have courage or guts, you know, to, if we believe in something that it will have an impact and we are willing to do it, then why having these doubts? So I remember in my early stage, you know, so many times when I was testing new approaches from expressive art, from Gestalt, you know, from the integral perspective, from constellations. How can I try it or know it, embody it, if I don't try it? But I need to ask for the permission, my client, to allow me to experiment a little bit. And if you won't like it, look, you don't need to pay me. I'm just in a journey of exploring some new approaches. And this, it really went well in my case. I don't say that it will go in every case, you know, but this is how I see it. I hope I answered the question.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love how that brave came up for not just you, but how your response to that client, to offer them something that you believe in. As we've been talking, it starts with you and me. We've got to believe in what we do as well. As much as we want to share about the good that we can do for the organization, we must also be the believers of what it can do. And from that, in a sense of that personal journey, isn't it? And that's why I love the part where we started off this conversation talking about your personal continual growth and how you have worked on yourself, right? That whole body of work on you is extremely key to the growth of the collective as well.
Yeah, it is.
You know, Jasna, really enjoying this. I know that we've got a little bit more time left. I'm just wondering, for young coaches coming in, Jasna, what will be a few gems that you can release to them today?
Okay, let me think. There are a few. First thing for sure is that learning never stops. So we need to nurture both personal and professional development, and internally and externally. So don't stop with your certified training. There, the journey begins. The second thing I would say is learn about importance of the moment, here and now, without, you know, judgment and interpretations, and just embodying beginner's mind or empty needle. So using curiosity as a driving force. Because, you know, we truly cannot understand the other human being, but we may explore and reflect. And I would say, you know, wherever you are, the third thing that I feel it's so important, wherever you are in this journey, stay humbled and stay human. Don't allow your ego, how you say it in English, ego, to overstep, you know. So stay humble and be grateful for everything, what the life will bring you. So take, but also give back.
Wow.
And maybe one last important thing, find yourself a supportive network. Find yourself either a reflective group, a supervisor, a trusted supervisor with the experiences, a mentor, you know, because the learning never stops. And this is, you know, it's not about reading books. It's about polishing your diamond in yourself. Yeah. How does this sound?
Oh my gosh. I am just taking mental notes of what you've said. So many. And of course, resonating with everything you've said as well, Jasna. It's been such a privilege to host you and to just glean in on the body of work that you have contributed to the collective flow. So thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Mel, for inviting me, and thanks the system to bring us together as well, this is so enriching. Yeah. I truly enjoyed our conversation, so yeah.
Same here. Well, this has been the 100 Master Coaches show today with Jasna and myself, Mel, saying, take care wherever you are. We'll catch you on the next one. But remember to continuously be human and to be humble as well, using Jasna's words. Take care for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You have been watching the 100 Master Coaches series with your host, Coach Mel, MCC. Brought to you by Catalyst Coach. www.catalystcoach.live. We will be right back with our next Master Coach on the 100 Master Coaches series.